This is the Nokia Lumia 920. Released in November of 2012, it was Nokia's flagship Windows phone of that year. Considered as the first true Windows phone competitor to iPhone and Android, and the first phone ever to offer optical image stabilization in its camera, as well as many more new features. It was extremely successful and well received. And in this video, we will discuss if this phone is still usable in 2020 and beyond. But firstly, don't forget to hit that like button and check out my channel, and if you like what you see, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also, turn on your bell notification button to get notified whenever I upload a new video. I'm also on Instagram and Discord, to where I post stuff that I usually don't post on my YouTube channel, such as teasers and behind the scenes. You can find me on those too using the links down in the description below. Alright, let's jump right in. When released in 2012, the Nokia Lumia 920 received multiple awards for design and quality, as well as being considered the first true ever Windows phone to compete with iPhone and Android. It was the first phone in the world to offer optical image stabilization built into its camera, as well as the first phone to feature QI certified wireless charging alongside its cheaper alternative, the Lumia 820. It also featured a super sensitive touchscreen which allowed its use with gloves and even fingernails. It was also featured in Kelly Clarkson's 2012 music video for the song People Like Us. The phone which I'm using for this video is a white Lumia 920 which I got off eBay for around $10. It was initially malfunctioning, but I managed to fix it, and you can find a video of me repairing it in the card above and down in the description below. The phone initially cost around $700 in the US and varied in prices worldwide. Taking a look around the phone, we can see that it features Nokia's impressive high-quality plastic unibody design, which its predecessors the Lumia 800 and Lumia 900 also had. This build quality was only outclassed by iPhones at its time. The phone features a dedicated camera button, as well as its power button and volume rockers on one side, a micro USB port at the bottom, and headphone jack and SIM card slot at the top. Its overall excellent build makes it more than impressive even by today's standards. The phone was offered in black, grey, red, yellow and white color options. The Lumia 920 features a 4.5-inch IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen with a resolution of 768 by 1280 pixels, giving it a pixel density of 332 pixels per inch. It also featured Nokia's PureMotion HD Plus and clear black display technology. Nokia put extra effort into this display as it also featured a 9 millisecond transition time compared to the average 20 to 23 milliseconds as seen on other LCD displays of its time. This helps reduce motion blur. The clear black display technology filters and alters detail and color to match varying lighting conditions to make the display look much better. This was all to compensate for Nokia moving away from AMOLED technology in the Lumia 800 and Lumia 900, and instead re-engineered LCD technology to replace it. All this technology holds up well today and is nowhere near lagging behind more modern smartphones. Obviously, it may lack more modern LCD technology, but still manages to display great images with good color accuracy and viewing angles. It also shares the same pixel density as the iPhone 11. Overall, a very solid display even today. Looking under the hood, we can see that the Lumia 920 is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Plus dual-core processor, clocked in at 1.5 GHz, which is supported by an Adreno 225 GPU. It also sports 1 GB of RAM and 32 GB of internal storage with no expansion available. These specs seem mediocre by modern standards and were not the top of the line even back in its day. However, Windows Phone OS is known for being one of, if not the least RAM and processor taxing mobile OS ever released, and would be absolutely no challenge for these specs to handle. Even today, it performs really well and keeps Windows Phone OS running pretty smooth. Speaking of Windows Phone OS, the Nokia Lumia 920 shipped with Windows Phone 8 and was finally upgradable to Windows Phone 8.1. The OS was the second generation of Windows Phone and was created with all the bugs and missing features of Windows Phone 7 all ironed out. Scrolling through the OS on the Lumia 920 feels extremely smooth and has absolutely zero lag even after all these years. Windows Phone 8.1 has a plethora of amazing features such as customizable live tiles with tile wallpapers, theme color changes, a dark mode which existed long before when iOS and Android had it, Cortana, an improved notification center, and many more. Most built-in system apps work well and do what they're designed for. However, it's impossible to download new apps for this phone as the Windows Phone 8 store was shut down on December 16th of 2019. Therefore, unless there is an unofficial method to sideload apps onto it, the Lumia 920 is useless in terms of apps and social media. It's also not possible to log into your Microsoft account anymore via this phone. Using the Explorer browser for social media is not ideal as it's slow and very unpolished. The Lumia 920 can be upgraded to Windows 10 using unofficial methods, however I cannot comment on those as I've never tried it myself. However, if you still wish to go ahead and upgrade this to Windows Phone 10 unofficially, a quick Google search brings up many different methods of doing so. However, these are not official and may not work properly. So unless you just want to make calls and send messages as well as consume copied media off your computer, the Nokia Lumia 920 is not a phone a day-to-day smartphone user will be able to use efficiently. One of the main selling points for the Nokia Lumia 920 was its camera. Considered as the best camera on any smartphone of its time, the 8-megapixel shooter with an f2.0 aperture and call-size optics was extremely impressive. It was further supported by its brand new Optical Image Stabilization technology, which no phone at the time had. This new technology was a huge leap over the software stabilization that most other phones used at its time. The camera was backed by a dual LED flash and the ability to record at 1080p at 30 frames per second. So here are some samples from the rear camera, and as you can see, these photos still hold up really well even today, being really sharp and decently close to real life in terms of color and brightness. I was really surprised at how detailed this camera was even after all these years. However, they are not consistently good as cameras back in the day did not have advanced modern processing techniques and instead relied heavily on lighting conditions. This was considered as the best back in 2012. And here is some video shot at 1080p at 30 frames per second. The front-facing camera was a basic 1.3 megapixel shooter. As for additional features, the Nokia Lumia 920 packed a whole bunch. It was the world's first phone to feature QI certified wireless charging alongside its launch companion, the Lumia 820, a brand new super sensitive touchscreen that could be used with gloves as well as your fingernails, a dedicated camera button, NFC, Xbox Live integration, and many more. The Nokia Lumia 920 featured a 2000 mAh lithium-ion battery that was a decent performer at its time, but would now need to be replaced due to its age. The battery is internal and requires the phone to be opened up. So as a final conclusion, I'd like to say that unless you wish to only stick to calling, messaging, and stored media consumption, the Nokia Lumia 920 is not going to serve you well in 2020 and beyond. Its inability to download applications and mediocre built-in browser sadly hold down what would have otherwise been a decently usable phone for today. So unless you wish to purchase this phone for a purpose of collection, I don't see why you would need to spend on one. So finally, that's it for this video and I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching and don't forget to hit that like button and check out my channel, and if you like what you see, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Alright, thumbs up and I'll see you guys in my next video.